Hey guys, it's Danny. Today it is time to look back on the month of February, recap a little bit, show you a few highlights, and of course a few orchids that were in bloom this month. I also want to give you a few updates of the projects that maybe we started recently, show you how those are going. So I hope you'll enjoy hanging out with me today. And if you do, don't forget to give this video a like, it really helps it out. And hey, why not subscribe? I post multiple times a week, all sorts of plant content, right? So as you know, we start with orchids in bloom. I will have to say some of these orchids I kind of missed the time they were in full glory because the past week I haven't been really focusing as much as I would like on this hobby. Yeah, has been a little bit of a tough period, but I do still want to show you the things that I thought looked absolutely beautiful this month. Not a whole lot of them because some of them are already faded. Sometimes we get a little bit too busy to enjoy the full glory of our orchids, and sometimes we just don't water and we lose flowers and buds, which is something I did this month, sadly. But hey, what to do? It happens. In any case, I did really enjoy some of these orchids this month, but I do believe in March I'm gonna have my mini Phalaenopsis in bloom and they will be glorious. Right, so let me give you some close-ups of some orchids that were in bloom and I totally missed their blooming period, but I wanted to show you something cool. So here we have my Phalaenopsis speciosa. Oh my goodness, I have such a lisp. This particular tray is modified. I'm almost done with my Invisalign treatment. I still need some refinements. I'm gonna receive them soon. I'm wearing a modified aligner, which gives me the most horrible of lisps, and we're gonna have to deal with it for the next couple of weeks. Anyway, so here's my Phalaenopsis speciosa. She had 3 flowers, 4 actually. You can see 3 of them are lying here and 1 is right there in the back. The interesting thing is that this month, or actually this blooming, my speciosa bloomed completely white. All of the flowers were white. Now, if you don't know about this orchid, many growers actually believe that the speciosa is the same thing as the Tetraspis C1. I'm not sure I can see a difference, so they both behave in the same way, meaning that the flowers can bloom either white, either red, either a combination of white and red. It will always bloom differently. And when I purchased this orchid, it had a combination of red and white petals, but the latest flowers, they were all completely white. And as far as I understand, this is completely random. There isn't something that affects the coloration. Some people say that lower temperatures induce redder coloration. No, it has been really chilly because it's winter here, and as you can see, I have white flowers. So yeah, I don't know why she bloomed completely white, but I thought it was cute. Never saw a Tetraspis which is completely white. Also, I told you in my previous highlights video that my recently purchased Tolumnia, which is a very big Tolumnia, it's quite tall, I managed to break the flower spike. I dropped it, broke the flower spike, and it started to produce a little branch. Well, Look at her today. The branch continued to grow and I have another side branch here. Tolumnias, pretty similarly to Phalaenopsis orchids, can actually branch out. Their flower spikes can rebloom, they can produce secondary branches, and if it just so happens that you break the flower spike but there are still eyes left, or actually growth points left, you can have a secondary spike, just like that. How about that? Very cool. We're gonna find out how it looks like because I purchased it as a no ID. So really exciting. Hopefully it's something I don't have. Also, for a while now, I have grown these Vanda orchids under artificial light, under the Barinas. How many months has it been? Has it been 5 months, 4 or 5 months? I really don't remember at this point. It has been quite a few months. And I am happy to say that I have some flower spikes developing. Let's see if I can show you this one. This is the Giganteat. The other one was a hybrid. There is a flower spike there, right here on this one as well. So slowly but surely they are starting to produce flower spikes. And I think that at least for these guys, the Aridus and the Vandachostylis, the artificial light in this setup at least is okay. It's enough for them to bloom. I cannot guarantee for the bigger Vandas. We're gonna experiment with that as well. But at least these guys, I think they're doing great light-wise in this little corner. This month we also talked about yellowing leaves, and in that video I showed you a Phalaenopsis that I thought and still think that is suffering from a nutrient deficiency. And I'm sure somebody will ask about this one as well. This little Vanda has some yellowing leaves towards the base here. It is not the same situation. I'm gonna show you something that happens quite a lot. We never talked about it on this channel. Maybe I should do a separate video about it with reasons why leaves fall, right? But sometimes it happens that the roots, when they grow, I can say excessively, but when they poke through the foliage on the stem, it happens that they actually destroy the leaves. This leaf will yellow pretty soon as well because it is split. Sometimes they hang on, sometimes they don't, depending how many splits they have. The lower leaves have many, let's say, wounds because of the roots, because this orchid is right now in full active growth. It produces a lot of roots, as you can see. It produced a lot of roots down there at the base, and the roots just pierced through the leaves. And sometimes it's just too much damage. This does not mean the orchid is sick, doesn't mean it needs water, nutrients, it doesn't mean it's rotting or anything of the sort. This orchid looks really healthy. Sometimes though, the roots destroy the leaves. It happens with Phalaenopsis as well. Sympodials not so much because they don't have the central axis, but with Phalaenopsis and Vandas it happens quite a lot. In this example, as you can see, we don't have anything happening to these leaves, but further down if you look, there are some yellow leaves or some yellowing leaves. I can see a little bit of yellowing starting here, and you can see the root piercing through. In the end, some of these leaves will just fade away due to all of these roots that are piercing through. Recently, I think in February as well, we rejuvenated this little Cattleya orchid, which was producing roots on top of the medium rather than inside the pot. And we repotted it, and I directed the roots down into the pot. And well, ever since then, let me just show you the roots. Look at them. Let's overexpose the situation a bit just to see better what I want to show you. Do you see the roots are green? This means they are absorbing water. The first couple of days after I repotted the orchid, the roots were not ready to absorb water. They were simply not adapted to a wetter environment, but now they are absorbing water. The newer the leaf, the faster it will adapt. Even if it's already grown, it doesn't mean that it's fully adapted to a type of environment. It is, in my opinion, somewhat adapted. It is really easy to readapt these already grown roots, but very fresh roots, to a totally new environment. So those roots right there are absorbing water, and no, they will not get suffocated or rotten or anything by the medium. And again, you can see the orchid is getting more and more hydrated. This one is plump, it's done. This one, oh, it's plump as well. It has deeper ridges because this one looked like a raisin, but it's plump. Look at that. Can I show you a section, maybe from the back? Look how plump it is. Look at it. Minus the ridges, who cares about those? It's plump. It was super thin. So this orchid is rejuvenated, mission accomplished. It happened really, really fast. All I needed to do was give the orchid water. And here's a little update on my Dendrobium trantuanii. I can't believe I forgot your name. In one of these updates, I showed you that there was a little nub forming. Well, it's a fully fledged bud. Soon we're gonna have a beautiful flower, hopefully this month. My Phalaenopsis gigantea is also continuing to grow her flower spike. I don't think it's gonna be too long since this is the very first flower spike this orchid ever produces. And I'm sure I'm not focusing on the spike. Right, there we go. So I think it's gonna be a shorter flower spike. This orchid is capable of producing very long spikes, but it is a very young, very tiny individual. But wait, it's bigger than your palm. Yes, but this orchid will grow as large as me, pretty much, at maturity, and the flower spikes will be impressive. But until then, you know, this is the first flower spike, so I'm not expecting a whole lot, but I still am super, super excited. Down below, everybody's doing fine. My little Tolumnias are also blooming, hoping to see more and more flower spikes. Some of these guys still need to root. I recently repotted them, so they still need to root and adjust to this new environment, but many of them are already pretty well rooted and established. They're not raisiny anymore. They're not dehydrated anymore. My Maxillaria here with a poor flowering, but that's okay. We're gonna expect better things from her in the future. I still believe this orchid does not smell like coconuts, but rather like peaches. Am I the only one who thinks that? I feel like I'm a weirdo. Why can't I smell coconuts? I don't know. It smells very nice to me, very fruity, like peaches, but not coconut. And looky here, finally, my Paraphalaenopsis decided to show off some buds. Now, this growth right here, I first started to notice it last year. Remember, I had a little bit of a series that revolved around, is it a bud, is it a flower spike, is it a new growth, what is it? And this was, I think, in the first episode. And the thing took 1 year to fully develop. Well, finally, I can tell you, it is buds. So, I really hope nothing will happen to the buds. Don't you dare lose the buds. I have been waiting for a year. Do not do this to me. I've grown you ever since you was a child. You were a little tiny seedling. Oh my goodness. I care about this orchid a lot. But don't you dare lose the buds. I've been waiting 5 years for this moment. But hopefully this year, we're gonna have beautiful Paraphalaenopsis buds as well. You know what, I think this video is transforming slowly and surely into a updates to boost confidence type of a highlight. But yeah, I want to focus a little bit on the positives. There are negatives as well, don't you worry. But I want to focus on the positives because I need it, don't you? Yeah, I think we all need it. Last month, I also showed you how I go about repotting severely root-bound or pod-bound orchids. And we repotted this Oncidium Tiny Twinkle. No, it's not Oncidium Twinkle. It's Tiny Twinkle. It's a bigger Oncidium, very similar flowers, very similar fragrance, identical, I would say, but much better orchid. Bigger, not better. Can I talk today? Apparently not. So what I was expecting to happen is this orchid becoming like a raisin, again, shriveling up. I have to say it didn't shrivel all that much. So the roots that I left did their job. Now there will be new roots from this growth very, very soon. If they didn't start already, I don't know. Did they? No, I don't think so. It's gonna take a little while until we see them. It's only been a couple of weeks or a little more. But yeah, he's not as shriveled as I thought he would be. And of course, the little catasetums here, I can see new growth starting to peek through. This guy is already pretty advanced, but until I see shriveling on the pseudobulb, I'm not gonna water them. Yeah, they're all doing pretty okay here. My Paphiopedilums are also doing pretty great. I have one in bloom that I think I will show you at the beginning of this video, and I have 2 more in bud just around the corner. So we're gonna have some new flowers very, very soon, which is pretty amazing considering these are all new Paphiopedilums. I think I have 1 or 2 left, or 3 out of my old collection since I rotted all of them. Unwillingly, I didn't do it purposely, obviously. So it's pretty cool to already see them with buds forming. It's only been like 6 months or so ever since I purchased them, maybe a little less, so very happy. They're already ready to bloom, and they're gonna bloom soon for me. And of course, the Pride and Joy, the Schilleriana, still not open just yet, but look at that. I think the bloom show will be glorious. And this is not full potential just yet. She's still pretty young. She's a keiki of the original plant, but it's already looking fabulous. And you know what? I think, oops, what am I doing? Okay, I think that is about it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. I will link it down below to some of the initial videos on some of these stuff if you're interested, of course. And yeah, with that said, I hope you have a great day. If you want to keep in touch with me on other social platforms, just search for me. I am at Miss Orchid Girl. But most importantly, subscribe to this channel so you stay up to date with all of my uploads. So with that said, I'll see you next time. Bye.